You won't believe this unless you watch till the end. Because the moment that billionaire mother opened the nursery door and saw what the janitor was doing, she froze, unable to breathe. It was the last thing she ever expected. And it changed her children's lives forever. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe because this is a story about hope where no hope was supposed to exist. Everything began on a cold winter morning when the world's youngest female billionaire, Amina Hartley, gave birth to twins, Liam and Lyanna. The media camped outside the private hospital, expecting pictures of the miracle heirs. But what the world didn't know was that the moment the twins were born, the doctors exchanged looks Amina had never seen before. Within an hour, she received the devastating news. The twins were born paralyzed from the waist down and completely unable to speak. The doctors told her gently but honestly that her children might never walk, talk, or live a normal life. Hermina had built empires, crushed challenges, survived betrayals, but nothing prepared her for the sight of her newborn babies, attached to tubes, their tiny legs motionless, their eyes filled with a soft confusion. Her billionaire status meant absolutely nothing now. She traded boardrooms for hospital rooms, luxury meetings for long nights, sitting beside two tiny incubators, whispering stories they couldn't answer to. Weeks passed, then months. She hired the best specialists, the finest therapists, the most advanced equipment that money could buy. But every doctor said the same thing. Progress will be slow, if any at all. And Amina, who had once believed that money could fix everything, realized for the first time that love, raw, painful, patient love, was the only thing that might give her children strength. She refused to give up. Every morning she visited the hospital before sunrise. And every morning she noticed the same old man cleaning the floor outside her children's room. His name tag simply read Mr. Yusuf. He was quiet, polite, and always looked at her with kind eyes, bowing his head slightly. She barely acknowledged him. Her mind was always on the twins. But one morning, after a particularly heartbreaking therapy session, where the twins showed no improvement, Amina returned to the hospital early, much earlier than usual. She wanted to sit with them alone, away from pitying eyes. When she reached the nursery, she heard a soft humming sound. Confused, she approached quietly, peeking through the glass window, and that's when her breath caught in her throat. Inside, the janitor, old Mr. Yusuf, was sitting on a small stool between the twins' cribs. His mop leaned against the wall. He wasn't cleaning. Instead, he held handmade paper puppets, colorful ones shaped like birds and animals. He gently moved them in front of Liam and Lyanna, making soft, soothing sounds with his voice. To her shock, the twins were responding. Their eyes were wide, following the puppets with an intensity she had never seen. And even more unbelievable, Lyanna was moving her fingers. Liam's lips were trembling as if trying to imitate the sounds. Amina pushed open the door, stunned. The old man gasped when he saw her, almost dropping the puppets. He began apologizing repeatedly, saying he didn't mean to overstep, that he just wanted to comfort the children when he saw them cry. But Amina didn't shout. She didn't scold him. She stepped forward with tears streaming down her face. How did you do that?" she whispered. He looked at her shyly and explained that his own daughter, many years ago, had suffered from a similar condition. He had spent countless nights making little toys and sounds to stimulate her brain to help her communicate in her own way. Although his daughter had passed away young, he never forgot the methods that helped her improve. "Children understand love before they understand words," he said softly. Her heart broke and healed at the same time. From that day on, Amina begged Mr. Yusuf to spend time with the twins. He didn't have fancy degrees or certifications, but he had something priceless. Experience born from pain, compassion carved from loss, and a patience that money could never buy. Weeks turned into months. Under his gentle guidance, the twins began showing remarkable progress, movements the doctors couldn't explain, small sounds that resembled attempts at speech, tiny gestures that revealed their intelligence. The staff was astonished, and Amina found herself smiling for the first time in months. Soon she invited the old janitor to every medical meeting. And while the specialists explained science, he explained love. He taught her simple techniques, games, rhythms, sounds, strategies no book had ever described. She watched him with the children and realized something profound. For the first time, someone saw her twins not as broken, but as brilliant souls waiting to blossom. One evening after a long session, Liam lifted his small trembling hand and touched the puppet bird. It was the first time he had ever done it. Lyanna made a soft humming noise, copying the sound Mr. Yusuf always made. It wasn't speech, not yet, but it was hope. And Amina cried so hard she couldn't stand. Their progress continued at a miraculous pace, and the story spread quietly among the doctors. Zon cameras were outside again, but this time Amina didn't hide. She decided the world needed to hear the truth. At a press conference, she stood in front of microphones, her twins beside her in their tiny wheelchairs, smiling as brightly as any children could. And she revealed the unexpected hero behind their improvements. Not a famous doctor, not an expensive therapist, but the hospital's janitor. Reporters gasped. Some didn't believe it, but she told the full story with pride, emotion, and gratitude. And when she finished, she invited Mr. Yusuf onto the stage. The old man walked slowly, humble, uncertain. But when the twins saw him, their hands stretched toward him instantly. It was the first time the world saw them move so freely. The room erupted into applause. Tears ran down faces across the hall. Amina later set up a medical foundation in his daughter's name, dedicated to children born with disabilities, and she hired Mr. Yusuf, not as a janitor, but as the foundation's honorary therapeutic consultant. He refused any fancy title, saying all he ever wanted was to help children feel seen. Years passed. The twins grew stronger. They still couldn't speak fluently, but they communicated through sounds, signs, and vibrant expressions. And although they remained in wheelchairs, they lived full, joyful lives. They weren't defined by their disabilities, but by the love that surrounded them. And whenever someone asked Amina how she survived those dark early days, she always answered the same way. Miracles don't always come from the people you expect. Sometimes they come from someone quietly sweeping the floor beside you. So, if you're still watching, let this be your reminder. Never underestimate a small act of kindness. Never ignore the ones society overlooks, and never lose hope. Not even when the world tells you it's pointless. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who needs it today. Because you never know, your share might reach the one person who feels like giving up and bring them the miracle they've been waiting for.